Before the video starts, a little reminder, this is the first time I'm doing something like that. I wanted to do this for a long time. I only wrote down all these things, but I thought, why not give it a try and make a video, see how people react to it? I don't know. Enjoy the video. Cafan lived in Ireland with his family, who had grown wealthy through a great discovery, or so the family legend said. A massive diamond, truly a boulder, was all that remained of that discovery. Cafan's relatives called it the great-grandfather of the family, a fitting title for the source of their wealth. Cafan never attended a public school. His parents, aunts, and even his grandmother taught him everything they believed he needed to know. His cousins were his only friends. But what man does not know, man cannot miss. Cafan was happy, well-fed, and an intelligent child. When Cafan came of age by law, his birthday was celebrated a little differently. His parents led him down into the cellar, to the great diamond. They placed his hands upon its sharp edges and drew them across swiftly. Cafan flinched in pain. He had expected a surprise party. His blood stained the gem, but instead of running down its sides, it congealed upon the surface, absorbed like water into a sponge. He could not believe his eyes. Had the diamond just drunk his blood? Then it came over him, like a flood, swallowing ashore. Before his mind's eye, Cafan saw dreadful visions. The voices of dozens sang in a broken, dying choir. Blood-drenched, naked figures danced upon cliffs, while the raging sea below reached for them with invisible hands and dragged them down into its depths. Deer hung from branches, beaten with sticks until their entrails burst from their carcasses. So much cruelty, so much death. The bloodletting of a great cult. Cafan vomited before the gem, while his family looked down upon him like vultures over a dying mouse. When he raised his eyes, the diamond moved. A head pushed through its surface, its expression a silent scream. Two hands pressed through the solid mass, followed by long, glimmering arms. Cafan screamed in terror. He tried to rise, but his relatives surrounded him, keeping him from fleeing. In disbelief, he staggered to his feet, only to collapse again, too weak to stand. The diamond hands touched his clothing, glided through his hair, along his cheeks, and stopped at his chin. Cafan thought he was going to die as the hands drew him closer to the crystalline face. A kiss touched his forehead, and his eyes turned white for a brief moment before he fell backward. His whole body convulsed as though possessed by a demon. Foam gathered at his mouth. When Cafan awoke, he was alone in the cellar. The diamond had returned to its former shape, and upstairs his family seemed to be celebrating. As he climbed the stairs, his mother rushed to him, embracing him tightly. He was now a true member of the family. The tables were laden with venison, goat horn drinking vessels, and the finest china. When he asked what had happened, his mother simply replied, "It is a family rite. Each who comes of age must be kissed by Father Diamond, a divine gift that brings fortune to those who are chosen. The visions you saw were his memories of darker times. This feast is in his honor." And indeed, the family remained wealthy. But Cafan's curiosity grew. He returned to the cellar often, running his hands along the gem, studying its form. Every evening for an hour, every time his palms bled upon the surface, but only nightmares came of it. When he was caught, his father beat him until he begged for mercy. Cthulhu knew then that his family was hiding something. He searched through old books, eventually finding the family chronicle, and something strange within it. A drawing, finely detailed and over 100 years old, hidden in a secret pocket within the cover. It showed a woman with 4 children and her husband. The face of Father Diamond. Cthulhu realized the gem was no mere relic. His great-grandfather was inside it. As a sacrifice? A volunteer? A prisoner? Too many questions. Cthulhu returned to the cellar once more and held the drawing before the gem. Again he smeared it with his blood, and this time something truly happened. The face emerged again, gazing sorrowfully at the portrait. Diamond tears fell to the ground, hardening on contact. Then came a scream, and cracks split across the entire surface. From them burst a dense black fog, hissing out like steam from a ruptured engine. His parents burst through the door, horrified by what they saw. His mother ran toward her son, just as the great-grandfather tore himself from the diamond, a towering creature with 4 arms and the legs of a deer, looming over mere mortals. He struck Cthulhu's mother aside. A loud crack echoed as her body hit the wall and fell lifeless to the floor. Cthulhu's father shouted, demanding to know what he had done. Father Diamond, wrapping his slender arms around his great-grandson as their bodies began to fuse from the waist down, answered in a deep, rasping voice. He freed God. An ancient law once said, "He who forges a man-made divinity shall bring death upon his bloodline." But the false god brings death to far more than that. The new killer is called the False God. Once a man who was sacrificed, or perhaps performed the ultimate sacrifice himself, to bring his bloodline generational wealth, however, at the cost of being entrapped forever in a diamond, until his great-grandson had freed him and merged with him. This killer comes with the power false godhood. Begin the trial with 50 out of a maximum of 100 blood diamonds. Each use of your abilities consumes blood diamonds. Gain blood diamonds by performing successful basic attacks, which will grant you 15, or by interacting with blood vats, granting you 50 blood diamonds each. Press Ctrl to switch between Crystallize and Quick Leap. Crystallize costs 15 blood diamonds to use. All windows within a 60-meter radius are highlighted in yellow once Crystallize is equipped. Hold the right mouse button and press the left mouse button to infuse a window with diamonds for 3 seconds. Any survivor interacting with that window during this time suffers 1 health state of damage. After Crystallize ends, the affected window cannot be crystallized for 10 seconds. Survivors already interacting with a window block the usage of Crystallize, making Crystallize a power to predict the survivor's movement and blocking their path before they commit to it fully. Quick Leap costs 20 blood diamonds. Hold the right mouse button to summon the 4 divine arms, then press the left mouse button to quickly leap over a drop pallet or window up to 15 meters away. After performing a quick leap, you may press the left mouse button within the next 3 seconds to unleash a ranged strike by extending the divine arms up to 8 meters. During this attack window, your movement speed is reduced to 90%. Quick Leap has a 15-second cooldown. The special interaction with this killer comes in the form of blood vats. 5 blood vats spawn across the map and are highlighted in white to you. Hold space to extract blood diamonds from the vat. After collecting blood diamonds from a vat, it takes 60 seconds for it to refill. The False God's add-on set tries to enhance all 3 aspects of his power, being the blood vats, quick leap, as well as crystallize. Either by enhancing numbers or putting extra buffs like status effects on them. Special attention should be put onto his visceral add-ons, Cthan's Remorse and Failed Ritual, both bringing powerful effects that, in one case, can even change how you play the killer entirely. Cthan's Remorse crystallizes all windows on the entire map for 30 seconds whenever a generator is fully repaired. However, if this effect is still active and another generator is fully repaired, this effect will stack in duration. The second add-on is Failed Ritual, which will allow you to do a second quick leap after performing the first one and being inside the attack window, for the cost of only 10 blood diamonds instead of 20. Keep in mind, however, that all of these add-ons are merely made with theoretical knowledge, as this killer is not playable and therefore no playtesting is done. Some numbers could be too high, some numbers could be too low, some effects could be underwhelming, while others might be destroying survivors on a regular basis. The False God comes with 3 teachable perks, the first being Hex, the Father's Gift. At the start of the trial, 1 random dull totem becomes a Hex totem. As long as the Hex perk persists, your vaulting speed through entity-blocked windows is increased by 30, 35 or 40%. This perk is designed to combine it with other perks that block windows, like Hex Crowd Control or even Bamboozle, even though vaulting through an already bamboozled window is not happening on many windows, on shorter loops it might actually happen. The second perk brings a new mechanic to Dead by Daylight, but instead of being a Hex perk or a Scourge hook, it is an Abyss perk called Abyss, Pagan Ritual. In the basement, a hunting shrine replaces the sacrificial hooks. Bring a survivor to the basement and chain them to the shrine once to initiate the sacrifice ritual and activate the shrine. This will reduce your terror radius by 5, 6 or 7 meters while a survivor is chained to it. The effect lingers for 10 seconds after the survivor is freed. This perk was to be combined with killers who already have a smaller terror radius, reducing a 24-meter terror radius to a 17-meter radius. Killers like the Xenomorph, for example, who have a 24-meter radius in their power, can very heavily benefit from said perk. If they combine it with Monstrous Shrine, this pressures survivors double and gives Monstrous Shrine a usage. The third perk is called No Distractions. You become obsessed with 1 survivor. Gain a token each time you are stunned, up to a maximum of 5 tokens. When your obsession is hooked, the aura of every pallet is revealed for 4, 5 or 6 seconds per token. When another survivor is hooked, see the aura of your obsession for 1, 2, 3 seconds per token. This, however, will consume all available tokens. Now, it might seem very powerful to see the aura of your obsession for up to 15 seconds, however remember that you only reach this by being stunned. It doesn't matter which kind of stun it is, but it has to be a stun. It does not matter who stuns you, as long as you are being stunned. You do not lose your tokens upon the obsession being hooked, you only lose them upon another survivor being hooked. Now, to finalize this chapter, we have the map. The Ordahwin Manor in the Evergreen Midlands realm. The moon casts its silver light across the vast fields of the Midlands. Surrounded by dozens of towering trees stands the Ordahwin Manor, a place where heathens once became nobility. The grounds are enclosed by a moss-covered stone wall, waist high and crowned with wrought iron bars reaching skyward, entangled by creeping vines. A long, broad cobblestone path leads from the estate's gate through the courtyard to the manor itself, which rises proudly at the rear center of the property. Several bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and an abandoned banquet hall span across 2 floors, a grand display of prestige. Even the cellar holds a twisted beauty. Its walls glimmer with embedded diamonds, though the blood-soaked hooks within taint any illusion of wealth. Before the manor, noble carriages stand abandoned in the courtyard, their horses having long since fled. Diamond-encrusted pallets, manifested by the entity, lurk all across the estate. In one corner lies a small, forsaken shack, filled with gardening tools and, in some cases, concealing a cellar below. It would be a dreamlike home, were it not for the corpses of the Ordarwin bloodline still resting within its halls. So that was my little fan chapter for the game Dead by Daylight called The Coming of a God. I just wanted to do something like this, and it took me hours to edit this now. I wrote all these fan chapters and I thought, why not post one of the more recent ones on YouTube and see if people like it. So yeah, if you liked it, consider to like and subscribe. If you want to see more, tell me. And of course, if you want to leave a comment, tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. Just do it, honestly. I want to get better at that stuff. Not just the chapter creation, but also my editing. I'm not a professional editor or anything like that, obviously. So yeah, if you have any things you want to discuss, do it in the comments. Just be nice. And yeah, maybe a little confusion thing at the end. On the map, you see the looping tiles, squares. Those are not single tiles. Those are actually the areas where loops can spawn in, pretty much. Other than that, I think the map is pretty much self-explanatory, as everything is marked and described. And yeah, maybe we see each other in the next fan chapter. Maybe we see each other in one of the various Let's Plays that I currently have ongoing. If you want to see more of these chapters, however, well, then tell me. Anyway, have a good day, evening, morning, whatever, and bye.